Hello everyone, and welcome back to Carrie's Beauty Corner. I don't know if you can tell by looking at me that I might be a little, to use a football term, offsides. I don't match, and I'm going to explain to you why. And today's video is going to be all about 6 major mistakes that older women do with makeup that makes them look older. So if you want to know what I've learned and see the difference in my face, then come on back, because that's coming up next. All right. I've just been doing a little bit of research, and just based on what I've read and kind of what I've learned in my own makeup experience, there are some major mistakes that women out there are making that are aging them. And I don't know about you, even if you're not a big makeup person, but time is doing enough damage, and I think if there's anything that we can do to help that, I'm all for it. I'm on board. Sign me up. Let's do it. So the first thing that I want to talk about that I know a lot of women do, because either they're in a hurry or they just don't care about makeup, but that's skipping foundation. You really, really don't want to do that. And I'll tell you why. Because we don't have the skin of our youth. We have discoloration. We have dark spots, sunspots, just uneven skin tone, all of those things. And I don't know if you can see or not, but I don't have foundation on this side of my face. I can see all the pores in my nose, and I even used a primer, but I can still see all the pores. I can see all the redness and veins around this side of my nose. I can see the uneven skin tone there on my forehead, and this blush job is kind of covering up some of my little veins and stuff that I have on this side of my face. Now, this side of my face is not perfect, but it does, it does look so much better. Number one, because I prep my skin. Now, what I mean by prepping my skin is your skin should always be ready. If you're a makeup wearer, your skin should always be ready for makeup. That means that you should be doing a decent skincare routine for your skin type. I am on the dry side, and so I know I spend a lot of money on products for my channel, but prior to that, I had already started taking care of my skin. And with all the brands and all the inexpensive choices that you have these days, there's really no excuse. If you want good skin, there's really no excuse for you not to have it. I've done my nighttime skincare routine. I will link that down below. But you mainly need to be double cleansing. You need to be exfoliating at least 3 times a week. Now, whether you do that with a chemical exfoliator like this Saturday Skin, it's a glycolic toner, that will work. The Pixie Glow Tonic is also a good choice. Any kind of the exfoliating pads that are soaked in either a lactic acid, glycolic acid, just one of the gentle acids that you can use on your skin. You want to use an AHA on your skin, or you want to do some kind of a physical exfoliation. So a product that has some exfoliating product in it, like the little volcanic pieces. You don't want to use like the sunnies with the apricot pits. That one's not real good for your face, and you can look that one up. But that one's not the best choice. But they make, Bliss makes a good one. I've been really enjoying a luxury brand that I got in one of my subscription services, but it's by Kate Somerville. But there are some inexpensive alternatives to physical exfoliators, and I will also link those down below. Then you need to be moisturizing, and you need to be using some kind of targeted serum, some sort of retinoid, maybe hyaluronic acid, vitamin C. Any of those things are wonderful for mature skin. So that's the first thing you want to do. The second thing you want to do is make sure that you're using sunscreen. I'm 56. When I was young, we had no idea what kind of a role sunscreen would prove to play in the future. We just didn't know. But it is a proven fact that if you want to keep your skin youthful, use a sunscreen. Again, I go back to saying, if that's what you want, there's no excuse not to have it, because you can spend $5 and have your face covered in sunscreen. Then before you apply your foundation, I highly recommend using some kind of a primer on your skin. I've talked about this before. My Ride or Die primer is the Professional from Benefit. It is my favorite for smoothing out texture, and you know, you can't hide a wrinkle. You're not gonna make a wrinkle go away. But when you use some kind of a pore filling product, it really does help minimize that texture and fill in those pores and give you a smoother surface for your foundation to go on. I have, and another thing, if you are in need of hydration, they make things called priming moisturizers, which are very hydrating, that you can put on before you put your foundation on, and you can use them alone, or you can use another primer on top of it, which is what I do. I've got a few choices that are wonderful for mature skin that will give you coverage, even out your skin tone, but you won't have to mortgage your house for it. This one is from The Ordinary. This is a new foundation in my routine, but it gives beautiful coverage without looking thick or cakey, and that is what I have on my face today. I've talked about this one before. This one has a SPF 50 in it. It's the Age Perfect Serum Foundation. Then on the higher end, I have a new one. It's a tinted face oil from CoSauce, and I used it a couple of times since I've gotten it, and I really, really like the coverage that I get. And then the It Cosmetics CC Cream is another one that you can't go wrong with. And it also has SPF of 50 in it. Okay, moving on from that, I have no foundation on this side. I did conceal with the same concealer on both sides, and this eye, for several reasons, looks a lot darker than this one, and I'll tell you why. The second mistake that people are making that will age you is this mistake right here. And that's not only the choosing the wrong color blush, but it's your application. This blush that I used right here is a straight up orange. Let me find it. I know I put it in here. It's a straight up orange, and orange is not my color. This is from Believe Beauty, and it is in the color Tropical Sunset. Okay, it's a pretty blush. It's a very pretty blush. And I'm gonna put it right here on the inside of my arm. And I'm gonna show you, I don't know how well you can see that, but I'm gonna show you how that looks with my skin tone. Even if I sheer it out, you can tell that is not the right color for me. All right, so color is a mistake. A better choice is gonna be something like one of these. And if you will see the softness, it blends so much better with my skin tone. And if you don't know your skin tone and your undertone, it's real easy to figure that out. A warm undertone is going to have like gold, yellow, peachy your undertones, and a cool undertone is going to be more pink, even a little more on the tan side. Of course, when you're tan, you can really kind of go either way, but you want something that's going to look good with your skin tone. This, and it is a cream blush, so it's a little more pigmented, a little more concentrated. I mean, of course I could sheer it out, but for the purpose of this video, I did not sheer it out. I wanted you to see what it looked like. And the other thing, oh, and by the way, this is from Kaleido Cosmetics, and this is the blush that I used on this side. And it just blends so much better with my skin tone. This is in the color Prima Donna. And I don't know if this color is still available, but if I can find it, I will certainly link it below. But the other thing, I don't know if you can tell that I did with my blush, this blush is just right here on the apples of my cheek. Don't do that. This blush, I started about right here, and I brought it up. I brought it up and out. And that's what you want to do, because it's lifting, okay? It's lifting. And I don't know if you can look and see, but this side of my face should look more lifted than this side. And it's not just from the blush. I did something with my eyes, and we'll get to that in just a minute. The next mistake that people make, and this one drives me nuts. I don't know if you can tell, but I have one eyebrow done and one eyebrow I didn't touch. I didn't brush it. I didn't do anything to it. Don't skip your brows. Even if you don't have a lot of brow, it's easy to remedy that. They make stencils. They make little rub-on eyebrows. And you can find eyebrow pencils. You can find the skinny micro pencils that you can make little fine hairs with. They even make some of the little comb type applicators that will make the hairs for you. But don't ignore your brow. Your brow frames your face. And anytime you're framing your face, especially if you've played up your eyes, anytime you frame your face, it's really gonna give you a more youthful look. And I have several that you can get for little to no money. You can get one as under $5, and it will have your product on one side and your spoolie brush on the other. And then the other thing that you can do is take a brow product. The one I have right here is from Benefit. And if you want to set those brows in place, you can use a brow gel on top of it. And you have any shape that you want to make within reason with your brows. Y'all, the options out there are endless, what people can do. We didn't have these options. When I was a teenager or in my 20s, we didn't have a bazillion things to choose from. So we learned and did the best that we can, that we could at the time. The next mistake that I want to talk about is lining either the top and not the bottom, or the bottom and not the top. If you use eyeliner and you use it on the top, you need to use it on the bottom as well. And I don't know if you can see on this side, I used eyeshadow for my bottom lash line, and I used nothing on my top lash line. And you can't see my eyelashes nearly as well as you can on this side, where I lined the top and the bottom. The other thing I did that really brightened this eye is I used a cream color. This is actually a brow highlighter. It's to go in and define that brow. But I used that in my waterline, where I used a black one in this waterline. And to me, this eye just looks tired and dragged down, and it just doesn't look as good. That black eyeliner in the waterline is not your friend when you're in your 50s. And I'm not saying you can't wear black eyeliner when you're in your 50s, but I'm gonna tell you a story. This is what, if you're in the habit of wearing a thick black eyeliner, you want to break that habit. And I'm going to tell you why. There are most eyeshadow palettes these days that are multicolored will have a black shadow or a dark brown shadow that you can use for liner. Take a liner brush such as this. Now, if you want to start out with a liquid liner first to get your shape, that's perfectly fine. But then take your liner brush and go in and soften that out, or just use your liner brush, and make sure if you're going to do any kind of a wing that you start before your eye ends. If not, that hood is going to completely cover it up and you're not going to see that you have any on anyway. But that's another trick to lifting that eye up, is starting before your eye ends. You don't want to bring it down here because that's going to drag your eye down. And the most obvious thing, well, one of the most obvious things, is the eyeshadow look that I chose. Both eyes were done with this palette. This palette is the Moods palette from Laura Sanchez. I used this as my transition shade. Then I went in and I darkened up the crease in the outer corner with this, and I used this purple right here on the lid. Then on the bottom, I went in with this color and some of the purple. Let me tell you why that's a bad idea. if you have discoloration under your eyes and you put this, anything like with a reddish tone or even a purple tone, you're gonna call attention to that discoloration and you are going to make it even more obvious than it already is. Does that mean I couldn't wear these colors? No. It just means that I could have muted them way more than I did, and then done maybe my waterline differently, my eyeliner differently, and it would have completely changed it. Plus the fact that I don't have my eyebrow done on this one. But on this side, I went in and I used this as my transition shade, and then I darkened up my crease with this, and then I went in with this green color right here, and I've got this green color all over my lid. So I did use color, but I used colors that worked better with my skin tone, and I sheared them out and I made sure that they were very, very well blended. And then under my eye, I made sure that it was really softened out using a pencil brush. I went in with this color and I went in with some of the green, and I think you can tell a huge difference. The other trick that I have, and I've talked about this on my channel before, is using a bright color right here in your inner corner. You can use a product like this. This is from Thrive Cosmetics. But if you don't have anything like that, you can always use your favorite highlighter and highlight that brow bone and highlight this inner corner, and it really does bring light and brightness to your eye, and you want that. You really do want that. At our age, it's not calling attention to yourself, it's just prettying up the features that you already have. The next thing is not on my list of major mistakes, but you will find it talked about a lot whenever you're talking about mature skin, and that's highlighter. You either love it or you don't use it at all. I went in on this side, and you can see I look like a clown. I went in with this highlighter, which is one of those that has like a blue, pink, purple, almost like that Aurora Borealis shift to it. And honey, I went in right there. And that doesn't look good. That really doesn't look good. Probably on a 25-year-old it wouldn't look good. Would I ever use this as a highlighter? Probably not. Would I use it to highlight my brow bone? Maybe. Would I use it in my inner corner? Maybe. So there's a use for it. I'm not saying if you have something like this, don't use it, but I wouldn't use it like this. I did go in with this one, and I really tried to blend it out, and I did go down my nose with it, because I will argue with anyone who says older women don't need highlighter. I disagree. I think highlighter brings light to all the right places on your face. No, you don't have to blind somebody with it. You don't. But you can use it. And I mean, we've talked about this before too. I mean, makeup is a personal preference. Makeup is an art form for many people. And makeup is just a release sometimes. Sometimes when you feel like crap, you go put some makeup on and you just feel better. I know I do. Not everybody does. A lot of people just don't really give a crap, and that's okay. You don't have to. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with a no makeup wearer at all. But those of you who like it, I'm just trying to give you some tips, because I've said this before, the hard and fast rules of makeup or there are no hard and fast rules. You do you, but stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Know what looks good on you. I'm not in my lane here. I'm in my lane here. Which brings me to lips. This color is a very neutral, very brownish nude lip liner. And I went in and I lined around, and then I also took it and I softened that line out. And you can do that by tapping it. You can rub it out. You could even use a lipstick brush. Whatever you prefer, but you want to soften that line. You don't want a harsh line on your lips. If you're 25, can you go with a dark nude like this and a really nude lipstick and look cool? Absolutely. When you're 55, can you do that? I don't recommend it. Now, on this side, I used this beautiful red liner. Now, am I saying if you're 56 you can't use a red liner? I am not. I am not saying that at all. But I would keep it inside your lip line, and I would just make sure this red lipstick is fine for me as far as the undertone. I can wear this red lipstick, but this lip liner outside of my lip line and it not being blended in, that's the mistake. Can you wear any color you want? Of course you can. Anyway, those are the 6 things. Don't skip foundation. Don't skip your eyebrows. Choose a flattering color of blush, and I'll add to that, be careful with your blush application. Watch what kind of eyeshadow you use on your eye if you want a more youthful look. If you line the bottom, line the top. If you line the top, line the bottom. Even that out. And the other thing is, watch your lip liner. Blend your lip liner in and try to go with something that is flattering to your skin tone, and take that liner and soften it, whether you do it with a brush, whether you do it with your finger, or whether you just fill in your whole entire lip with your lip line. With your lip liner. Don't go around with a lip line. It's not flattering. It's not flattering at all. The last thing, and this is not a have to, but this is something that I like to do. I think matte skin is more aging than a dewy skin look. And so there are drugstore options. This one happens to be a high-end, but they make these dewy setting sprays that kind of melt all your products into your skin and just give you that real glowy look. I mean, you don't want to look like a grease ball, but to look like your skin is healthy and hydrated and glowing, that's what you want to do. So I hope I haven't stepped on anybody's toes. I hope I haven't hurt anybody's feelings. I didn't make these up. I will link the article below where I got this from. And if you like this, let me know. Let me know if you want me to address these kinds of issues. Let me know if you want recommendations on products for mature skin. Just start giving me some feedback. Let me know what you want to see. So I'm going to wrap it up by asking, as always, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would click below and subscribe to my channel. Maybe give this a thumbs up. Maybe share this with a friend who likes makeup. I'll have my link below. Share my channel. Let's make this happen. I really want to continue to do this, and I can't do it without your help. So I'm grateful for those of you who have been with me from the start. You know who you are: Danya, Heather, Robin. These are people that I know are watching because they tell me they're watching, and they make comments and they like the videos, and that's how I know. If you don't talk to me, I don't know that you're there. But anyway, I'm going to be quiet now and say God bless and have a beautiful day. Love you.